Hi, Assalamualaikum and good morning. We are from Group C. Today we will present about our group project. The company that we choose is Consortium Transnasional BERHAD. We have 6 members in our group. Hi, my name is Husna Binti Azizi, metric number 2756222. I will present about audit circle of company choices. Consortium Transnasional BERHAD KTB has a strong focus on safety and security and has implemented an extensive audit circle to ensure that its operations are in compliance with the relevant laws and regulations. The revenue circle is an important audit circle for Consortium Transnasional BERHAD because it includes all activities that generate revenue for the company. The sale of tickets and the operation of passes are two key revenue-generating activities for the company. Consortium Transnasional BERHAD has a revenue audit circle that includes a review and audit of the company's sales and revenue streams. This type of audit is important for companies to ensure that their revenue recognition practices are in line with generally accepted accounting principles (GAAP). The audit circle for revenue also helps to identify any potential areas of revenue leakage or overstay. The revenue audit circle is relevant for Consortium Transnasional BERHAD because it ensures that the company's sales and revenue streams follow GAAP. This sort of audit is necessary for all businesses to keep their financial statements correct. The revenue audit circle also aids in the detection of any possible revenue overestimation.
Good day, doctor and everyone. My name is Nayuwen, number metric 281377. I will continue the presentation on the comment on audit fees, non-audit fees, and audit report. First, audit fees. The audit fee in the financial year 2020 was 200,000, but the amount increased to 245,000 in the financial year 2021. This is because the huge improvement in the profitability performance and the company has recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic has influenced the audit fee, and also the economic control and potential risk inside the company will require additional time and work in auditing and increase the audit fee. When audit fee rise, it also implies that the improvement of the audit quality. Secondly, non-audit fees. There is no non-audit fee paid by the company in the financial year 2020, but the amount increased to 15,000 in the financial year 2021. This could indicate that the company has used the non-audit services provided by the external auditors. The example of non-audit services are bookkeeping, financial information system and design and implementation, and the internal audit outsourcing services. Lastly, the end audit report. For the financial year 2020, the auditors provide unqualified opinions which stated that the financial statement provide true and fair view. Next, however, there is a material uncertainty related to the going concern, where the company's current liabilities exceeded the current asset for an amount of 72,035,000. There is no adjustment of the amounts and reclassification of assets and liabilities, and the financial statement might be inappropriate according to the going concern basis. Next, key audit methods. There are two key audit methods. First, valuation and impairment of property, plant, and equipment. Second, goodwill impairment assessment for ParkMay BERHAD Group. Next, for the financial year 2021, the auditors also provide the unqualified opinions, but there is no material uncertainty related to the going concern for the year 2021. There is one key audit methods provided by the auditor, which is the valuation and impairment of the property, plant, and equipment. That's all from me. I will pass the presentation for my next group member. Thank you.
Good day, doctor and my fellow friends. My name is Siva Shantini. My metric number is 272819. Today I'm going to present about my part, which is 3.0, the performance of audit partners and the chief financial officer of the company. since it's listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. The Consortium Transnational Berhad, which is called KTB, have been one of the largest operators of public transportation in Malaysia and has given the most extensive coverage of public bus service for major cities and towns throughout peninsular Malaysia. From the year of 2021, KTB had taken steps to diversify into construction business through its wholly owned subsidiary, Transnational Builder SDN BHD, to provide alternative sources of revenue. Based on the contributions of audit partners of KTB, they are none of the members of the Audit Risk Management Committee, which is called ARMC, was a former partner of the present auditors of the group of KTB. The ARMC, in a place of policy that requires former partner to observe a cooling off period of at least 3 years before being appointed as a member of the ARMC. The policy had been codified in the terms of reference of ARMC of the company. However, the board has established an external auditor's assessment policy which sets out the guidelines and procedures for the ARMC to review, assess and monitor the suitability, objectivity and independence of the external auditor. The ARMC obtained assurance from the external auditors confirming that they are and have been independent throughout the conduct of the audit engagement in accordance with the relevant professional and regulatory requirements. When they carried out an annual performance assessment of the external auditors and requested the management to join the assessment and being satisfied with the performance, suitability and independence of the external auditors of the company. So let's highlight on internal auditors of KTB company. The internal audit function is outsourced to an independent professional service firm that assists the ARMC in managing and risk and establishing the internal control system and processes of the group by providing an independent assessment of the efficiency and effectiveness of the group's risk management and also internal control system and their processes. While the internal audit function is an independent of the operations of the group and provides reasonable assurance that the group's system of internal control is satisfactory and operating effectively. Therefore, the internal audit functions activities are carried out during the FYE 2021 are as disclosed in the Statement on Risk Management and Internal Control of this annual report. Moreover, the Chief Financial Officer of KTB is called Mr. Lim Si Hu, which is known as a member of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, which is called ACCA, and a registered chartered accountant with the Malaysian Institute of Accountants, MIA. Before joining the company as Chief Financial Officer on January 7, 2022, he had over 15 years of experience in auditing, taxation, accounting, financial reporting, business plan and budget, treasury management and corporate strategy in numerous organizations. He began his career as an auditor, working in various fields of audit firms, following as a financial controller, vice president of finance, senior group finance manager, senior treasury manager and group accountant for both public and private enterprise. Hence, his contributions towards the KTB have been awakened through forming of a new account team, revamped group reporting structure from various entities within the group from Malaysia and Vietnam, and also finance process improvement, ERP system migration, business plan for new venture and business license application. These are the strategies and performance which have been carried out to stabilize the audited financial statements of KTB throughout the role of a Chief Financial Officer in the company.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Doctor. My name is Norashima binti Mahadi. My matrix number is 270634. I will present 4.0, which is explain which accounts that you find most difficult to audit and why. Based on reviewing the KTB's 2021 annual report, the account that might be difficult to be audited is property, plant and equipment, which is account of PPE. As for KTB, PPE is the most significant asset class on the group statement of financial position with a value of 49,473,000 for the year end of 2021, while buses and motor vehicles with a total carrying value of Rm 47,288,000 are included under PPE. The reason why I say PPE account is the account that quite difficult to audit is the auditor had to perform numerous substantive procedures, which is the first one is completeness. Completeness is the procedure which need an auditor to trace the register sales, the sales or purchases of the PPE. The second procedure is the presence of the PPE. The present is when auditor must conduct a physical inspection to ensure the presence of the PPE. The third procedure is rights and obligation, which is requires auditor to review either a lease agreement for leasehold land, or for example a vehicle registration document for a vehicle. It depends on the type of the PPE. So the next procedure is valuation. The auditor should consider the PPE valuation, which one should be based on the lower of cost or market value. The last procedure is presentation and disclosure. This procedure is to establish whether the losses, gains and expenses in the financial statement are accurately identified. There are some procedures being highlighted by the KTB auditor. In the procedure of auditing the KTB's PPE account, the auditor has looked through the management's impairment assessment of the buses indication of impairment and of the reporting debt, which is look into both internal and external sources of data. Second, they also conduct physical sightings on a random basis in order to assess the physical condition of the buses and discover the signs of impairment. Other than that, they also perform procedure for the buses that have indication of impairment, which obtain the estimated recoverable amount of the buses. The last one is they also check the accuracy and relevance of the input data used by management to estimate the recoverable amount of the buses and motor vehicle. That is why PPE KTB's account is quite difficult to audit, because the first one is the auditor have been highlight this matter in the annual report. The second one is I found that PPE account is have their substantive procedure to be followed, and if an editor have to audit any of the company. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Anusia Rajamohan, my metric number 272342. Now I will continue the presentation by explaining about the fifth question, which is conduct at least 5 analytical procedures on the company that have been chosen, and due to the efficiency ratio, we have to plus the current liability and current asset, then divide by the total assets. Okay, so that we can find the efficiency of the which not only express time interval which requires for selling and converting raw materials into finished goods, but also effectively management of this process. Okay, there is decrease in efficiency ratio of KTME BERHAD, okay, from 2020 to 2021, which shows deficiencies in the product line or marketing effort. The second ratio that I have been chosen for the KTB's BERHAD for the analytical procedure is liquidity ratio. Okay, to find the liquidity ratio, current asset minus with inventory, then divide by current liability. The current ratio is the liquidity ratio, which provides the best single indicator the claims of short-term of creditors are covered by assets that are expected to be converted to cash in a period roughly corresponding to maturity of the claims. The current ratio is an important because it tells the inventors and analysts how a company can maximize the current asset on its balance sheet to satisfy its current debt and the other payables. The current ratio is steadily increases from 0.13 in 2020 to 0.58 in 2021. It shows that the company is capable to pay its obligation because it has a larger proportion of short-term asset value than its short-term liabilities. Because to evaluate the financial efficiency of a business, because just now we find right the efficiency was low compared to previous year 2020 and 2021. So we do the working capital to find. Okay, the third ratio that has been chosen for the company is working capital. To find the working capital, we have to do this, which is current asset minus current liability. Okay, we're choosing the current working capital because to evaluate the financial efficiency of a business, because just now we find right the efficiency was low compared to previous year 2020 and 2021. So we do the working capital to find any other, like, is it a correct one, or to make sure it is the financial, how about the financial efficiency of the company. Okay, so the working capital ratio is widely used to find the efficiency of the business. Okay, low values of working capital levels near 1 or below may significance that companies serve financial problems. The percentage of working capital shows that the operations has ample short-term liquidity to pay off its short-term debt. Based on the table, KONSORTIUM TRANSNASIONAL BERHAD managed to increase their amount of working capital from 2020 to year 2021. Higher working capital that the company managed their short-term obligation well in settling it with their current assets. Their current assets are sufficient to cover and meet their current liabilities. Okay, this is in current liabilities. This is important to creditors, which it indicates the liquidity of the company where they prefer high liquidity company.
Hi, my name is Praveen, number metric 273489. The fourth ratio that we have chose for the analytical procedure for the company Consortium Transnational Berhad is the debt ratio. In order to find the debt ratio, we need to take the total liabilities and need to divide with total assets. Here, the debt ratio refers to a financial ratio that measures the extent of a company's leverage. In financial year 2020, the company's ability to cover its current assets was 1.78 times the value of current liabilities, while in financial year 2021, the ratio decreases to 1.46 times. So from this we can see the ratios that the Consortium Transnational Berhad has less ability to service its debt is high because the ratios are greater than 1. The fifth ratio we chose for the Consortium Transnational Berhad is profitability ratio. To find out the profitability ratio, we need to take the net profit and need to divide to total assets. And here the profitability ratio indicates that the return on assets. Okay, return on assets, or known as return on investment, measures the overall effectiveness of management in generating profits with its available assets. In financial year 2020, Consortium Transnational Berhad faced its loss of negative 0.29 ringgit on each RM1.0 of investment in the total asset, while in financial year 2021 the company earned RM0.006 on each RM1 ringgit of investment in the total asset. In conclusion, based on the analytical procedures that has been done, it shows that the Consortium Transnational Berhad has a good analysis based on the analytical procedures we have done. We don't find any strange findings about the company's annual report for year 2020 and 2021. The board director also has been responsibility to ensure that all the problems come from the group and the company can be settled to make sure that the company has been successful. The board is also responsibility to encouraging ethical business practices to the company. It helps company to overcome and avoid any fraud happens in the company. We as auditors believe and make sure to follow all the audit procedures to make sure any mistake can be avoided. Next, to further up the analytical procedures for the Consortium Transnational BERHAD, we have been used the vertical analysis. Okay, vertical analysis is where it is conducted on each line of a financial statement and transform it to a percentage amount. For instance, each line item on the income statement is expressed as a percentage of gross sales, while every line item on the balance sheet is expressed as a percentage of total assets. The provided details are very useful and thoughtful for tracking changes in any item in the financial statement over time, which may signify a change in business strategy that necessitates a different level of ongoing funding. To find out the vertical analysis, to get a vertical analysis, we need to use a formula which is statement line item need to be divided from the total base figure and need to times with 100. From the bottom of the analysis, we have been see that the total current liabilities as a percentage of equity and liabilities decreased by 35.08 percentage, which is 0.334% to 68.26%, while total non-current liabilities increased by 2.87, and it shows that the company is not great in asset solvency. In contra, current assets got surplus with 26.51 in comparison of 39.95% in 2021 and 13.44% in prior year. Meanwhile, for total of non-current assets were having a decline percentage in total with 2.68 from 86.56% to 60.05%. It means that an excessive amount of reduction in total non-current assets value may lead to an impairment charge, as theoretically they have unlimited useful lives. Nevertheless, all long-term assets and liabilities will eventually earn a good return in the future from this company. Next, we also have been used horizontal analysis for the Consortium Transnational BERHAD. Here, the horizontal analysis is the comparison of historical financial data over several reporting periods, as well as the ratios derived from such data, with one objective, that to find out whether there has been an increase or decrease in particular values. Usually, the statement will be 2 or more periods used for allowing it to make a comparison, and the percentage will be the results of the analysis. For the horizontal analysis, we have been using one formula, which is comparison year amount minus with base year amount, and then divide with base year amount and then times with 100. So this is the formula that we use in order to construct this horizontal analysis. Based on the findings, what we have found that the company's profitability and financial health over time had their fluctuation in their financial position. The first year is taken as a baseline, which is year 2020. Succeeding period statements are compared to those of the base period statements. Changes are shown in both absolute and percentage terms. Based on the horizontal analysis, it shows that the total assets of Consortium Transnational BERHAD is increased, as it having a positive amount of 2,030,000 or 2.98% from 80,128,000 in 2020 to 82,158,000 in 2021, while the total equity and liabilities also increased by 2.98% of 2,030,000 from 80,128,000 in 2020 to 82,158,000 in 2021. That's all from us. Thank you.